Alright, what up YouTube? Broderick here. Coming here with you about something. It's related to video games, and it's kind of just a concept. Alright, so we've seen Nintendo release the SNES Mini, and then we've seen the NES Classic, and those did fairly well. But those were from Nintendo. Now I'm pretty sure the news is still recent that Atari is coming out with a Atari box, and that's all fine and nice. But, and I want you all to stay with me here. I know this isn't about like occultism, unless you believe in like those conspiracy theories, then I guess no. No, this video is not about occultism, and so just stick with this. But what if we got the PlayStation Classic? Now, you all might be wondering, Brought there's no such thing as a PlayStation Classic. Yes, I know there's no such thing as a PlayStation Classic. But what if Sony came out with a revised PlayStation? But not just a revised PlayStation. What if they re-released the PlayStation 1 and gave us access to the PlayStation Store and all of its online, like the online friends list capabilities, multiplayer, with all of the PlayStation 1 classic games? Like, just instantly you get access to all of the PlayStation 1 classic games. You would still have to I guess you would still, let's say you still have to purchase them, but if you have the PlayStation Classic, let's say they'll allow you to purchase those PlayStation Classic games at a discounted price on the PlayStation Store by, let's say, just registering your PlayStation Classic with the PlayStation Store or something. And you're able to instantly just buy those PlayStation Classic games you want for that PlayStation Classic system and just jump online with all the multiplayer PlayStation 1 games, full multiplayer capabilities, all across the board. Like, let's not stop it right there though. Let's say they joint synchronize this thing with the PlayStation Vita. So anybody who has the PlayStation Vita and has PlayStation 1 classic games that are multiplayer are allowed to play those PlayStation Classic games in this multiplayer function along with the people who have those games on the Vita. And now, like a lot of you might be saying, "Oh, Broderick, could the Vita do this?" Yes, I believe the Vita does have that type of capability. I believe the Vita could do this. And I'm not talking about some remote play type of thing. I'm thinking the Vita has the prowess to do something like this. Like, we've seen the Vita do multiplayer with games from the PlayStation 4. And the PlayStation 4 is an extremely powerful system. So I'm pretty much sure that this would be able to, the Vita would be able to pull off something like this pretty much with no problem. Now, let's say that PlayStation releases this thing and they want you to have this thing without having to know. They want to give you this thing with a little sampling on there. Like, let's say they decide to, like, oh, you buy the PlayStation Classic for a limited time, you get this, like, you might get a couple of codes to purchase a couple of PlayStation 1 games. But let's say it throws something in, like, the original Tomb Raider, maybe the original Gran Turismo. Let's see something else like I don't want to say LSD Dream Simulator because that game's just too off the wall. But just let's say some of Sony's classic games like Spyro the Dragon bundled with this thing. Like you get a code for Spyro the Dragon, or I know there's a lot of people who like Final Fantasy out there, but let's say they release this thing with codes for like Final Fantasy Tactics bundled with this. And let's think about this. This thing had, let's say this thing would have, or could possibly have, connection with the PlayStation Store. So let's say you just, let's say the price range of this is like maybe $100 instead of like, I don't know, let's say like instead of 230 like the Vita is, or so let's think about that. You get the entire PlayStation 1, well, almost the entire, because like not the entire PlayStation 1 catalog is on the PlayStation Store. We all know that. But like you get about 75% of the PlayStation 1's game catalog. And like who's to say maybe this thing comes with like a disc attachment or something. You can play your PlayStation 1 games you already have with this, or maybe they install, like maybe they put a disc tray onto this thing. We don't, like, this is just a what if thing. Like, yeah, this is like something I would like to have, just like something I would like to play. Because we all know, I know people brought this up, but backwards compatibility, a lot of people, they want that. And this, I know this would be like the most far away answer to that, but let's be honest, it would be a lot clearer of an answer than what we've been getting from Sony, which is basically like no. Like, I've seen the PlayStation Classics PS2 store, like the PS2 Classics section, and while it's decent, it's definitely not gonna hold up to what some other people might want from the PlayStation 2 era of games on the PlayStation 4. Like, and I'm not bashing the games for it, because like I've played Siren for the PlayStation 4 that they have released as a PS2 classic, and the game runs exactly similar to the way it was on the PlayStation 2. It's a bit much of a download. I think it's like 7 gigs per game. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, I think I actually had to delete it off my system to make room. But this would be good for that type of thing, like for those types of people who want to play PlayStation 1 games. And honestly, don't have the most the most optimized way to play it, because like even when you play PlayStation 1 games on the PlayStation 3, there's not a online there's not a like much of an online feature to that. It's just like it will show up on your it will show up as games that you're playing, but like the online features to that, it's pretty much not there. But let me know what you all think about this. Let me think. Let me know in the comment section what you all would think about the PlayStation Classic if it becomes a thing. If it was a thing, how would you think about it? How would you view it? What games would you want to see on this thing? Myself, I would like to see like maybe the original Diablo on this thing, because that was a fun game. But yeah, I thank you all for coming to this video. Everyone who watched it, thanks for your support. And I'll see you all in whatever else I'm making. See ya.